I love you, Danny.
Te quiero. Te quiero mucho.
Hey, what do you say?
This man needs no introduction, but I'm going to still give him one. Danny is a legendary actor. I don't even know that I can count the number of films that Danny has been in. I mean, you just have an amazing storied career. You've worked with some of the greats. You are one of the greats. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So, as you can see, Danny, and some of the amazing films you've been a part of. I mean, one of the things that I love about you, Danny, is your ability to go from a kids series to something like Machete, to just the most fun projects. You're all over the place. So, thank you for everything you've done for this industry. Thank you for the work that you've done. And also, thank you for your tacos.
Thank both me and Gloria. She always says, here, go do this. Okay. We really go. But I stopped kind of choosing what I wanted to do. Just because everything I choose usually falls apart and then the check clear. So I just leave it up to Ace and she just kind of puts it together.
That's awesome.
That's what I
We want to do a little bit of a love letter to Danny and do a sizzle reel of his storied career. So hope you guys enjoy.
Thank you. And can we grab the lights for the Comic-Con people? Indeed.
So you've done a couple things, right, Danny? You've worked on a couple projects, right?
Yeah.
So, Danny, this is a question, I've heard the answer to it, but I've never got to ask the question, so I want to ask you directly. How did you get your start in film and television?
Helping a kid. Just, we had gotten signed up for being extra. And I didn't know it, but he was on the show, and he called me and just said that he was having a problem. And in 1985, cocaine was rampant in the studios, I used to walk into the trailers, and they'd be like, why? Great. And I didn't use it. I just went down to support him. Unknowns to me that I was going to be sent to this movie the next day. But I went in and I hung out with this kid, and I ended up meeting a guy named Eddie Bunker, who I was in one of the better colleges in California with San Quentin. He said, "What are you doing here to help this kid?" He's still black. I'm 40 years old. Crazy. And he said, "We need somebody to train one of the actors on the block." And so I said, "What's it pay?" Because they were going to give me $50 for acting on the contract. It's funny because I told Eddie, they would give me $50 for acting on the contract. And we did that because we could do that for free forever. And he said, "You know what? It takes $320 a day." And I said, "How bad you want to strike me up?" I thought it was hit, and he had someone. And anyway, it was $350. I started training an actor named Eric Roberts. And Eric was a movie star. And the movie stars would be a little high stars. And the director was had a problem. So, but I don't want to say he was scared of me, but he was too told to do. And it worked out. The director came to me during the show, and he said, because all I was hired for as a trainer, comes to me and he said, you be in the movie, the Russian Aristocrats, the first American movie, Andre Koslovsky. And he said, you be in the movie. You fight Eric in the movie. And you be my friend. Now, if you've got a proven background, that's a red flag. I'm sorry. What does that entail? And I showered him, but he grabbed just both cheeks and walked away. And I can remember telling Eddie, look, I'm going to take the 320 for training the kid. But if I'm going to kiss that old man, I don't mind. No, he's European. I said, I didn't care. I got a SAG card. And if I would have known what that old man did for me, I'd have watched it back. And it's amazing. That's it's kind of like everything good that has happened to me has happened as a direct result of having something. Yeah. I was with one agent, and my agent left that agency and figured that I would stay and asked me where I was. I'll go with you. And the minute I went to her, I started getting work. And so that's kind of like the way my life's been since I graduated from greater universities in Los Angeles, in California. It's kind of been everything I do for somebody good comes back in some kind of way. So good things will happen.
So my follow-up to that is you've been in, again, countless numbers of films. At what point did you realize this went from like something you're just doing to like your life has changed because of acting?
Well, you know what? In the first movie I did, it was like a pretendies fight. And I've never had a pretendies fight. And we were like just this stunt man. A boxer with little straight punches. Well, straight punches in a movie don't show. He said, I did, and he saw that I did. And so we did this scene with Eric Roberts, and I just did, wow, this is fun. And I'm not even getting hurt. And I just knew that, wow, this is going to be something. And then that stunt coordinator, he kind of said, hey, I need another film. And it just kind of seems that if you do good, stay out of the way, shut your mouth, and do what he said, it just kind of seems that people ask you to work. And then you have to say that an agent that's putting you out there. So I think that's the main thing in Hollywood is that I see people without an agent, they're just running around trying to do it. So that's what it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this is a two-part question. I'm going to start with you with the first part of the question, Sean. What made you realize Danny was the right person for this role in Ultraduck?
The voice. I mean, honestly, the first time watched you, Desperado, I watched that thing. That was so cool. You kind of, in my opinion, stole the entire show. You're this mysterious badass with all these knives. You're like, and I don't know if it had Batman vibes to it, but like these guys have machine guns, and you're kicking their ass, like something here. So for me, that was the first time I kind of ever got to see you, and then you kind of stayed on my trailer, and then I was lucky enough to meet Gloria, and lucky enough that you said yes. So it was just your incredible, gravelly voice, and it commands such presence, and for Omegalus, it was just perfect, right voice. The creator is actually Edgar Delgado, and so he's from Mexico. He mentioned you, and he's also a big Desperado fan. We're like, do you think? And we're like, maybe. And put out the offer, and thankfully you said yes, and thankfully we're here, so thank you.
So, Danny, the second part of that question is, what attracted you to the role?
The role. Basically, when my agent said, well, you know, he's vicious, mean, and angry. Okay. That's the way I used to be. So it was just a lot of fun. And I love cartoons. I love voiceovers because it's not, they're a big deal, but you can show up in pajamas. It's not like you got people fussing over the baby. You show up. And it's like they hire you for your voice. You know what I mean? That's what you're being hired for. And so it's like, cool. I got a voice. So I love that role.
That's
It's
awesome.
funny because from dusk to dawn, from dusk to dawn, I did that with Selma. And I can remember when she was pouring booze down my leg.
Yeah.
Every man in the audience was going,
And what I love about that scene, that booze goes down her leg to Quentin Tarantino, who actually wrote the script, meaning he wrote himself to receive the booze from her leg.
it might be a little kinky.
Yeah.
Doing what he was
Oh, at the keyboard there, yes, this sounds good. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. God, and it fooled everybody because it starts out a great robbery movie, and then all of a sudden they're being beaten by that.
Yeah.
I'm the best looking vampire. So funny. I used to work out at Venice weekend, and everybody was asking me, "Daddy, how'd you get them big traps? How'd you get styrofoam?"
So obviously you've done a ton of live action, you've done a few animated projects now. What do you find to be the biggest challenge for you in transitioning from the live action space to playing a role in animation?
Saving my money. I love old cars, but you know what? It's funny because animation is like a completely different genre. It's not like, did you hear me say John? Or she told me. But that's the way it is. It's like, you just got to get into that, whatever character it is. And most of the time, for me, the character I play, it's not a stretch. Even Desperado, even Machete, I was still like a good bad guy. Yeah, a good bad guy.
Yeah.
The thing I love about Danny as well, I was lucky enough to direct him originally in 2022, I think we remember, and then we did some pickups this year. And I think maybe this is an advantage to animation, especially if someone has a beautiful voice like yours. The worst take you had was still incredible. If it's voice and it's who you are, and that's the way you're projecting, especially with natural voice, we're not doing silly Elmer Fudd or anything. You're coming here, bringing the A game, doing your badass voice.
That character is like, I didn't talk like he talked like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. And the cool part is in animation, which is a little bit different, is the animators actually do the performance of the character based on your voice. So however Danny wants to do his cadence, which is his speed and the pause and the inflections, and everything he brings is what our animators look at, and they start moving the body right around everything you've done. So, to me, that's really cool because it puts a little bit more of the directing, I guess, into the actor and their performance.
And Sean, what attracted you to turning this project into an animated movie?
So you mentioned earlier, Canada's published over 300 graphic novels and comic books. Ultraduck is one of the crown jewels of our publishing, career or whatever. There's just always been something special about it. I think Edgar Delgado, very sincere. He's one of the top Marvel colorists, and he works at Marvel, one of the top people. And so when he self-published Ultraduck in Mexico City, it was literally, they called it a zine, like short for magazine. And so he would, I guess, go to the local Kinko's or whatever, and then he would fold them, staple them, sell them, and he did quite well. And this is before he worked at Marvel. And then he's still publishing them, still doing them. And then Arcana was lucky enough to publish the very first, let's call it widely released Ultraduck book. And it's been translated into over a dozen languages. So Ultraduck's available in France, in French, in Spain. It's in Poland, which is not your common publishing licensing. But Ultraduck just had legs on its own, or wings, I guess, in this one. Ultraduck had wings, and it was able to fly a little bit farther than we had to push it. And so for me, it was a natural transition, taking it from publishing into animation.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That was when we were there.
That was the one, yeah.
2 hours
Sorry.
ago.
Oh, hell yeah.
I couldn't remember who was in there.
Just came to you. Sorry. So Danny, I mean, you have now expanded outside of just acting. I mean, you're releasing TikToks, you've got your taco shops now, which it seems like those are growing. How do you manage
We got
to
5 taco shops in LA. We got the donuts.
you got the donuts?
Cantina, you wanted to
The cantina, yeah, we got the cantina, and then we've got the donut shop. We've got one restaurant in London, and we're putting another one on the other side of London. So 2 years.
Wow.
I love it. We also got a record label that's doing pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome.
We got a show coming up August 30th, and then I just love working. I love doing stuff.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
It's good that it's happened to me. It's happened as a direct result of helping someone else.
Yeah.
And that's the way I live my life.
Well, I think that answers part of the next part of my question, which is what drives you to want to do all these things, and how do you also manage being the actor that you are, but also doing all these other things?
That's doing something usually has really good people around her. First of all, I'm still a drug counselor, but that's the only job I have if it wasn't for my agent.
Yeah.
And then the way I got into the restaurant business, I did a favor for a producer who needed an actor, and I remember having 2 scripts, one that paid more and the badass script. And I remember we read both of them, and Porter says, this might be something big, but the other one paid more money. And I said, yeah, the money. And she kind of said, okay. When women say, okay, well, never mind. No, you better do it. So I did this low budget movie. And on a low budget movie, I always take like a tuna salad or some food, and good food, because a lot of times, they buy 40 jacks or 50 jacks, and so the producer asked me if, how do you eat good food, Jack? Yeah, 70 years old, and he said, wow, and 2 movies later, badass on the body. I looked at it and murder, no mayhem, no killing, and I gave it to her. She kind of said, and she put us in the restaurant. And we started 1, and we got 5 years ago. And I said,
Brilliant. That's
it's
great.
really good, I'm telling you, that's the way it works.
Yeah. And Sean, you've done, similar to Danny, you've done live action, you've done animation. How does your, focus and creative process shift when you move from one medium to the other?
Depends on my role. So I've written, directed, produced. I think I've written maybe 30 screenplays. Probably 15 have been actually produced. Depending on the role, like so, directing for me has been kind of the one I've probably enjoyed the best. The trifecta when you get right, direct, and produce. In terms of producing, I'm very much a financial producer. I kind of really focus on the strike price matching the budget. We have a film fund in Vancouver. It's how we've kind of been prolific. And so what I try and do is I'm very much by the books. A lot of people just toss away like, oh, who cares, there's contingency. I'm not. I'm kind of more scared of that stuff. I'd rather keep things on budget. And then what I do a lot as a producer is I work with the director and make sure that their creative vision is achieved, but also under a financially responsible model, which always isn't the easiest thing to do. A lot of it's managing expectations. Currently, right now, I'm honestly most of this. One who's been amazing at working under a very wide, very big creative vision and keeping everything in line the way I like it. Producing a movie called Company with Casey Affleck, phenomenal director. He's really great. And so we filmed the first part of it, wrapped in Whistler, and then we have the second part of it going next month. It's set in winter, so we had 7 feet of snow, and then the second part of it is in summertime, same location. And so, but you know, having someone like that who's a visionary director, and then still being able to go, okay, well, how can we do this? Because there's so many ways to do something, and it's just working with someone creatively.
That's, one of the things about acting is like, you are the hero, this is the character, the thing about doing voiceover, voice like that is that you have to bring that to life.
Totally.
To make him live, not just, acting, I hate to say it, sometimes you can just have a stomach ache and still do it. I'm sorry.
You're right.
States feel all over that. So, you can have I don't mean you just walk it in, but you could just say the line and go. In acting, in cartoons, you can't, because you got to bring that dialogue. So whatever you do, you can't just like, you gotta like put the enthusiasm.
Now, without hijacking this, I actually would love to ask a question.
Yeah, go for it.
You know Alexa Vega. I know Alexa Vega. I was lucky enough to direct her in Clockwork Girl. She's amazing. And then I also, at her wedding, the person that gave her away at the altar was Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So I was actually there, got to hang out with Robert Rodriguez in a small town called League in South Dakota. Very, very small town.
Yeah.
And so I was drinking, I don't know if he was. And then we go to the pizza joint at like 11 o'clock at night, and then I order pizza, and he's like, hey, you want to share it? And he puts a hand on my shoulder, and I'm like, yeah, sure, Jesus. Robert Rodriguez. I'm like, oh, so cool. And the guy's like, oh, whatever, $20. I'm like, I got it. He's like, oh, I got it. Oh, I got it. And both of us rush, and I beat him to the punch, so I got to pay him for his pizza. But what I'd love to ask you, Robert Rodriguez, like for me, he's one of the greatest directors of all time. And since I'm talking about directing, like, was there anything that what was it like working under and with Robert Rodriguez repeatedly? I mean, I think you're one of his, from what I've seen, one of his favorites.
You know what? The first time I worked with him was in a movie called Desperado.
Sure.
And we filmed it in Acuña, Mexico, and all my family was in San Antonio, Texas. I was in California. So my family came down to Acuña to like visit us. And my uncle Rudy, who was somewhat underworld, what do you call underworld? Nice. He was just to the left. And I remember him saying, Daddy, who's that? And I said, that's Robert Rodriguez. So Uncle would, hey, and there I go, I'm fired. But it's an older guy calling you respectfully, and Robert came over. They started talking, and all of a sudden, my uncle just said, Dad, say hello to your cousin. And we found out we were second cousins. Okay, well, make my part better. But you know, my part was pretty good in that movie. I still. And it was funny because nobody really knew who Antonio Banderas was. That was the movies. So I'm walking out of one shirt, I got that big tattoo, and everybody asking for my autograph, taking pictures. And Robert, they think you're the star. I said, aren't I? After we started talking, that's when he said, you know, I got a movie called Machete that I want to do. And we just, first, actually, we did the Spy Kids, and we put Machete, Uncle Machete Spy Gear in there. And then he did the fake trailer. And we came out of that trailer, you know, everybody just got to do that. And he already had most of it done.
And is he quick as a director? Does he move pretty? I think on set he'll feel fast. He knew what he wanted.
Who's the guy, man? Radar, the guy that knew, yeah, he had, his crew's got 25 radars. Because he'll be doing this, and they'll be setting up the next scene over here. You know, so when he'll go from this to this. And it's really funny because my son, Gilbert, he followed him, you know, on Machete. And when he was done, Robert Rodriguez told me, you know what, have him go take his director's test. He knows him. You know, and so that's my son's a director.
That's great.
And that's because we've gone way well with our people.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Thank you. That was a great question. I was just starting to think about it.
So Danny, one last question before we need to start wrapping up here. So is there a role that you've had that you weren't really sure going into that really surprised you and made you like fall in love with the character that you didn't know that you would fall in love with?
I gotta say, the one that she made me, that,
Yeah.
I love that character. He was so cool. You know, with a little fanny pack. I brought the fanny pack back. But yeah, that one in working with Danny Glover. Danny Glover, right there. And it's so funny because me and Danny Glover, when we were doing Machete 3 in New Orleans, Dada's 3, we were standing up like this, and we're watching this guy about 16 years old. He's getting ready to rain, and the crew that was building is getting up. He's trying to sweep real fast because you know it's going to start raining, so we got to get everything ready. And Robert says, "Damn, that could be me right now." I says, "Thank you, Jesus." Because they got a hard working guy, but we weren't working in the rain.
That's awesome. Well, before we wrap up, you guys want to see one more Ultraduck clip? Sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to open it up to a few Q&A questions real quick, but before we do that, how many of these? Okay, we got a couple of Ultraduck books to give away, and we're going to let our special guest pick who it is. If you want one of the books, raise your hand, and then Danny, I'll let you select.
First.
Come on up.
It's also signed by Danny.
Right here.
There you go.
Yeah, it's already signed.
Oh my
We got one more. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. So now we're going to open it up for a couple of questions, and you were also very quick to the draw on that. So
I want to ask a question. Actually, I have two. Is
yeah,
that okay?
go for it.
Okay, so first of all, where can we watch it?
So right now we actually have pre-sales in Europe. We are waiting for our domestic distributor. So Pink Parrot's selling it. I hope to get the sale for the quarter 4. So officially I don't have a release in North America yet, but we will. The second I do will be on our website and everywhere else.
Okay, maybe Netflix will pick it up.
It will probably be, our other ones are on Netflix and Amazon, so there's a very, very good chance. They're one of those two.
Oh, yeah, we'll have both of them, so.
Perfect.
I'm gonna watch it. I like it noted. What I wanted to ask, Mr. Trejo is, if you could play any superhero, which superhero would you like to play?
Magenta 3. Rodriguez. Tell him, hey, let's get busy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Down there on the end.
Hi, Danny. Marvin Glover here, right behind you. I'm a producer. Thank you for your time. I had the opportunity to send an ask out for a role that you pass it on. But fortunately, I got a friend of yours, Carlos Carrasco. And
Carlos?
Carlos?
I couldn't.
Carlos Carrasco
Carlos.
Carlos Carlos.
from In and Out, Blood In, Blood Out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about your experience of working with Taylor Hackford.
How is it working with
Taylor
him?
Hackford.
With who?
Taylor Hackford, the director.
Oh, he was kind of cool. Cool. He was good. In fact, none of those guys, it's weird because they were all talking tough till we got to San Quentin. And then all of a sudden, everybody was yelling. There's a whole wall of convicts as we're walking in, and everybody's yelling obscenities like they do, and not bad, just like, hey, give me a kiss, and it was kind of like all of a sudden everybody was behind me, and a guy named George Perry, we'd both been in that prison, and it was funny. It was just funny, and Taylor hired me as a consultant because there was a lot of things that were wrong. It's like he had everybody wearing red bandanas, and you can't because we were Southern Mexicans and they were blue, so we just ousted the bandanas, and the only one that could wear red was the Native American congregation. That's the only one that could wear red, and everybody else wore black, brown, whatever. But Taylor is smart enough to know where to go when something's wrong. And what was wrong was that at first a lot of African American people came out, and a lot of Caucasians, no Mexicans. And one of the reasons was that they were saying that they knew they were Northern Mexicans and thought we were going to disrespect them. And now wearing the color, so that they came out and they played. They did really great. In fact, a couple of them ended up joining Narcotics Anonymous, and I still stay with them. I still see them all the time. They're kind of cool.
Thank you.
One thing I have a chance to publicly do it. You've been a phenomenal ambassador and representative for reform and second chances, and I love how you talk about that. So I mean, from my point of view, like that is unbelievable. Like the way you
like just advocates for. We actually, my first person that I got out of prison was my nephew Gilbert, who had committed a crime when he was like 16, did 37 years. And we talked to Governor Newsom, and he's time here, so he pulled it out. And then we got Mario's son out, and that started what's the law, Mario?
SB 260.
Yeah, SB 260, which if you were convicted as a juvenile, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, if you get like, you can come up for parole. There's no longer, it's like if you change, because if you're 16 and 17 and commit a crime, and you go till you're 25, 30, and haven't done any problems in prison, it's like, wait a minute, you're a different guy. You know, anybody that's 16 when they do something is a different person. If they're not, it's been a rest like a
Another question? Yeah, right here.
This question for Sean. I know your kids work with you quite a lot. I wonder if they have any influence on this one, if there are any voices, you know.
Yeah, this is, thank you for that. This is a family affair once again. In the movie, my wife is playing a deer, and her big line is, "Oh dear." So that's her 15 minutes there, or like 5 seconds. And then yes, my son Kiefer is in it, as well as my 3 daughters, Summer, Harvey, and Phoenix. So when I do these things, they're very personal. Animation takes years and years and years. So to try and bring family members and friends, and I love it. So thank you. That's a great question.
Are there any Easter eggs we can look out for?
There are definitely some Easter eggs in here. Lots of publishing references. Actually, it's funny in the teaser trailer, which is online as well. One of the ones when Ultraduck is flying towards Omegalus, and I can bring it up. When he's actually flying towards Omegalus, if you look into the background, I'll do this without sound, I hope. There's actually streets. So I'm going to grab it here. Right, there it is. This guy up here, Ramos. That's Humberto Ramos. I wish I had his booth number. What a great plug that would be right now. He's in Artist Alley right now. Some booth number. Humberto Ramos, one of the most talented Marvel, one of the most talented artists who happens to work for Marvel. Also born in Mexico City, and he works with Edgar Delgado. So he's on the floor right now. So anyway, that's a very fun Easter egg. Yes, and there's dozens more. So you gotta keep your eye out.
First of all, be a fantastic Fanny. You said you had to choose between the badass and the higher paid movie. Was there any roles that you regret not taking, that you look back and go, oh man, they offered it to me, and I said no, but looking back, I should have taken it.
So he asked, was there any roles that you wish you would have taken that you turned down?
No, I ain't turned Small avenue. So, it's like, you know what? To me, it's kind of like, it's a job. It's no different than house painting or bricklaying or cabinet. It's like, this is the job. You go to work and you just do it. And it's just a lot of fun. And I thank God for putting me in this position, you know what I mean? Because I'm 81 and I'm still working, you know, and I got a collection of cars that I love. Right now I'm building a 1949 Chevy pickup truck that's gorgeous, and 36 Dodge touring sedan that I've already had. I'm rebuilding it. So it's like, you know what, hey, life is short. I can say that I'm 81, but it's like, you know what, any day, you know, I love life. I love waking up in the morning, and I don't know if I do, first thing I do is thank God I woke up.
Well, awesome. I think that's it for us today, folks. Also, I looked it up. If you want to go to Humberto's booth, it's 4704.
Thank you. 4704 from Humberto Ramos' booth. Nice plug. Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.